new product Propectin had a profound effect on the type 2 diabetes of a gentleman named Yank Berry. So I flew to Florida to meet him. When I had a chance to sit down and talk to him one-on-one, the last thing he said to me was, "Ken, I believe that Propectin saved my life and I believe it could save yours too." At the time, I didn't really know how true that was going to be. What most people didn't know is I was battling a diabetic ulcer at that time. Well, I bought some of the product. When I came back to Dallas, I took an A1C test, which tells you the 2 to 3 month average of your blood glucose level. And mine was 13. Now the top of the chart is 12, so 13 wasn't all that good. 6 or below is considered non-diabetic, and between 6 and 7 is considered a diabetic in control. After being on the loading dose of Propectin for about a month, my foot took a turn for the worse. I ended up in the emergency room on the eve of Thanksgiving. I was septic, and they gave me less than 24 hours to live. If I survived, they were going to amputate my foot and maybe up to my knee, depending on where my circulation was. The first thing they did in the emergency room was do an A1C test. They wanted to see where my blood sugar was at, and it was 11. Now, that was the first clue that something was going on. On Thanksgiving, they did an ultrasound of my legs, and to my amazement, I had the circulation of a healthy 30-year-old, and I'm 57. Well, that was the second clue that something great was happening. I did end up losing my big toe on my right foot. 2 weeks later in the diabetic clinic, the first thing they did was another A1C, and it was 9.8. Normally, that number would have gone up, not down, after being on intravenous antibiotics and having surgery. I figured I was on a roll, and right before I went out to Las Vegas to hear about the new product Finity, I took another A1C test, and it was 5.9. When I got back from Vegas, I had an appointment with the diabetic clinic, and again, the first thing they did was an A1C, and it was 5.7. My doctor asked me what I was doing besides what they prescribed to get results like that. I told her about Propectin, and her comment was, "Well, maybe you ought to just keep doing that." I'm not a doctor, and I can't make any medical claims, but I truly believe that Propectin helped save my life, and that God gave me a miracle when He introduced me to Jeunesse. Thanks for listening.